To see y'all. How was your eclipse? Any big feelings? Any big cries on the day of the full moon? Any letting go? Realizing things you might need to let go? We've got another one coming up. We got the solar eclipse coming up. So, going from ending and releasing to what do I want to create? So, we're still in the waning phase. It's still a good time to be thinking about what you want to declutter from your home, from your soul, etc. So how you doing? How's your week? Let's find out how this one is going to go. We'll start with the weekly forecast, a daily forecast for each day of the coming week, and then we will get into the elemental forecast. Hey Layla, so happy to see you. Oh, you know what? This is gonna help y'all see me, huh? There you go. That's a little better. Yay! Okay. So we'll get into the elemental forecast after that. We'll look at how things are looking for the fire, earth, air, and water signs. And there is an elemental through line. So if you have Aries, Sagittarius, Leo prominent in your chart, even if it is not your sun, there's going to be an applicable message in there. And the more that you know about your chart, the more comprehensive kind of a reading you can get out of this. All right. So let's check in on today. I always pull a card the week before for the upcoming Saturday, but it's nice to see how the Venn diagram looks. So let us see what Spirit wants us to know for the coming week, always and only for our highest good. What it serves us to be aware of each day. And Spirit is already dropping in to say, that is the most effective way to use any kind of forecast, astrological or tarot. It is to go in with it knowing that like I'm arming myself with tools and knowledge ahead of time. This is not so that I can freak out that the tower is showing up on Wednesday or whatever. This is so that I can go into already more centered and grounded than I would normally be, so that if I run into some shocking news or event, I'm at the most equanimous place that I could possibly be. Okay? So there's a way to listen and there's a way not to listen. Hey, hey! Fave username. Okay. So arm us, Spirit, with knowledge and tools for the coming week. Whatever we need to know for our highest good. Beautiful card. There's a through line. There's something that brings all of us together that feel inclined to listen to this reading, Spirit. So we tune in for those who tune in. What serves their abundance, ease, fulfillment, peace, their progress, their growth, their awareness in the coming week. Wow. Very emotional week so far. Pretty good emotions, but very cuppy. Let's see. Wednesday. Love it. Okay. Thursday. Okay. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Very emotional week. We are very much in our feelings. Let's talk about today. Hey, here we are, gathered to do something ideally joyful and communal. So, Ten of Cups. What I'm really hearing strongly here is love on the people that you love. You may have heard me say it before. I'm gonna say it again because I feel like there's almost a disconnect between maybe the way I present myself and sometimes the things that I say, where it's like I might come off kind of sunny, kind of Leo rising, and then I'm saying some real Plutonian shit. But essentially what I want to say is we are not all here forever. This is like a temporal, this is a temporal, temporary, liminal space. Love on the people that you love. Appreciate the things and the people and the pets around you. If you've been holding out on an I love you or a fucking hug or sending somebody a little something because you thought of them, send that energy out. No, like there's no time more essential than now to reach out to the people that you love and let them know like I'm really here for you. And it opens the door for allowing them to be there for you as well. Sometimes we need to open up with a little bit of vulnerability to invite other people's vulnerability. Don't have to. It's just a courageous thing to do that is going to bring more blessings into your life. That's just what I'm hearing. So essentially, there's a lot of love to tap into today. If you want to, you start it. You start the chain if it doesn't come to you. Very likely that it will come to you based on this card. So let's look at Sunday. Tomorrow. The Lovers. I mean, the Lovers is not strictly a romantic card. It's a card about passionate choice. It's a card about being the most of ourselves. If you've ever looked at the Rider-Waite version of the Lovers card and held it next to the Devil card, they look very similar in that there's this big overarching figure looking over our two people. But in the version of the Devil, they're about that big. So this is listening to our better angels. This is becoming the bigger, broader, more passionate, brighter version of ourselves instead of shrinking down and hiding away and protecting ourselves. Again, that thing of, I don't want to be vulnerable because being vulnerable makes me weak. This is like one of the most poisonous misconceptions that our culture is built on. And I feel like it's the root of a lot of loneliness, isolation, atomization. We just entered the Pluto and Aquarius age. So again, there couldn't be a more important time to know which groups. Aquarius rules groups, affinity groups. I'm a fucking Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I really relate to this group of people. Or I'm a theater kid. I really relate to whatever. Important to know who you align with and why, and to make choices that feel aligned with who it is that you are. Spirit's talking about Pluto and Aquarius and saying, whatever Pluto touches, it either, if it's false, it smashes it to pieces and it dies. And it has to crumble because the ruthless truth of Pluto is touching it. So if it's fake, it's going to crumble. If it's outmoded, if it's outlived itself, it's got to go. Empires fall after roughly 250 years, right? This is data. Well, let's sit that right next to Pluto takes 250 years exactly to make a full wheel around the zodiac. The US is in its Pluto return. We are watching the crumbling of what doesn't work, and anything that has actually any value will stand up. Now, remains to be seen what's left standing. Haha. So we choose atomization, which is very Aquarian, being aloof, being too cool to join that group. I'm too cool to be vulnerable. Spirit is kind of putting a through line through our week already. It's a really important week to be vulnerable. It's either finding our communities and groups, even if they're far away, being connected and feeling loved and supported, or it's the opposite and it's that atomization, too cool, too aloof. So this is a call to not be too cool for stuff, if it really matters to you. Okay, well, again, we're all going to die temporally. Like, no one's going to remember what you did except for you 5 years, 10 years, 40 years from now. So make it shit that you want to remember. That's just what I'm hearing. One of the gifts of this fuck-ass time, just like any other fuck-ass time when things are going really wrong, is for any of you who've ever had like a death of somebody really close to you, you know that something that it does is put everything into really stark relief. And what matters and what doesn't matter is really fucking apparent. And it's like you're in such a Plutonian headspace at that moment that's like, who gives a shit how I look at work or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? What really matters is this. Just to say, we're all being touched by Pluto magic right now. Okay, so Monday, love to see it. Pretty good, especially for a Monday. 9 of Cups, and we've got a couple of 9s showing up this week. So 9s and 10s, and that's close to completion. That is, you're ready to bring something to full fruition. 9 of Cups says you got to fill your own cups first, and then you let them spill over into the rest of your life. So certainly don't, again, hold back or even give too much is the opposite of holding back, right? Like, here it's for everybody else, not for me. Oh, you know, fucking mom feeding everybody before she gets a plate, and by the time she sits down, she's exhausted and her feet hurt. We're doing the opposite of that. We're taking care of ourselves first, not just the basics. 9 of Cups, the joy, the pleasure. There is something that you want to manifest. That's the other thing about the 9 of Cups. It's the card of manifesting something that you feel really proud of yourself about, joyful, emotionally. Because here's a hint for further in the forecast. We've got another beautiful 9 coming up. So we're talking about money this week, but right now we're talking about emotional fulfillment. everyday pleasure. And also, again, for those of you who are making a really important lover's choice, like I align with this group, or I'm going to write this book, or I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to start my podcast about fucking minerals or whatever weird specific thing your thing is, actually being able to stand in it, be excited about it, claim it. That's something that Spirit is saying. And they don't always use those terms with me, but they're again saying that this time in the world is forcing people to really claim who they are, what they stand for. Anybody mealy-mouthed in the center is just going to kind of fall in a pit. That's what I'm kind of hearing. Okay, so please yourself Monday. Set yourself up even like Sunday to feel a little bit of extra pleasure, whether it's like you make sure that you have your favorite coffee in the house or something like that. Just make sure that you're injecting a little extra pleasure, good music, good feelings, good fabrics into your life on Monday. Tuesday, if you haven't put out a call, I know this is a very sultry card. I'm probably only going to hold up for like 2 seconds. YouTube has already blacklisted me. Six of Cups is joyful. It's innocent. That's why she's depicted as naked. That's why she's depicted with the apple. It's innocence. It's playfulness. It's also reunions with people that make us feel really loved. So maybe you are putting out the call on this Ten of Cups day, or you get a call from someone else, or maybe for some of you, that waits over until Tuesday. But there is love to be exchanged. And there is also, again, fun to be had. Nine of Cups, Six of Cups. We've got more cups coming up, and they're all fun cups. They're all happy cups, joyful cups. So we got to claim our fucking cups. We've got to really, especially now, cultivating joy. Spirit is saying it's like finding fresh water, which is very poignant. That's what they're saying. They're saying finding love and joy in this time is like finding fresh water when you're walking through the fucking desert, or when the ground is craggy and you're wondering if you can ever grow something again. And they're having me say something else that's really important. This is the cool thing about doing collective forecasts, because it's like, this is for humanity, right? This is Spirit taking a really zoomed out view of humanity. There is no such thing as the world being out of balance. I know how that sounds off rip. Believe me, I have my preferences and biases about how I want the world to be. And it very much doesn't look like the world that I want to see. It doesn't look in balance to me. But that's because I have my own biases and prejudices. Here's what I mean. The world is always in balance because it knows how to maintain its own ecosystem. As a bunch of people go really fucking nuts and really dissociate and really disconnect from their humanity and from their spirit, there are many, many, many people awakening to how sensitive they are and to the power of their soul. And they are connecting to their spirituality in numbers that have never been seen before, because literally we're all connected now. So ideas, good and bad, can spread like wildfire. For those of you who are aware of astrology, we are shifting from a time of earth and water, where the generational planets, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, etc., have been in these earth and water signs. So the backdrop of life has been muddy, slow, right? We are moving into, and have begun to move into, air and fire time. The wildfires with the extreme winds were like the fractal, earthly, hey, we've moved into air and fire time. It's just a clock. It's not doing it to us. It's showing us what time it is. Okay? So things have begun to get hot and dry. Emotionally and security, earth, very fucking bereft. Like, oh, fuck. So we have to cultivate joy. We have to cultivate beauty. But I want to remind you again, you don't have to worry about, I have to bring the world back into balance, or I have to save people, or I have to save myself, or any of that, because the world is in balance. That just means that those extremes are being met by the opposite complementary extremes. And ideally, we want to bring both back into equanimity and into compassion. Something also missing right now. Okay. Reading for the collective. No big deal, big things. It's remember your innocence. Six of Cups. Remember your innocence. Remember how fun it was to just exchange with people when we didn't have our swords up and our defenses up, and how fun it was to be a kid, which is also the Six of Cups. So being childlike, allowing yourself to want what you want, allowing yourself to be vulnerable only to the people that you want to fucking be vulnerable to, and seeing what happens. And more than likely, magic happens, especially just looking at the fucking cards we've got here. Okay, so appropriately, on Thursday, Jupiter's day, we have abundance, plenty, a lot of appreciation. And I feel like two things. I feel like you are getting some form of appreciation, but also, and more importantly, much like this Nine of Cups that we have on Monday, this is a week to be like, okay, the more I actually am able to appreciate myself and be nice to myself and be compassionate with myself, the more available I am to do that for other people. And the more available I am to do that for other people, it shows them by example how to give it back to me. So I'm not saying that you're going to be out here fixing people or showing them, well, I'm not saying that you're going to fix how they treat you. I am saying that there's a quote that is, the truth is rarely seen and never heard. Meaning, when people tell us, even if they're telling us the truth, even if they're seeing something real and giving us a piece of information, it's hard for us to hear the truth because we have our own perspectives and biases. So that's why it's better to, lead by example. It's rarely seen, but never heard. So you may be able to show someone by example how that you need to be treated and deserve to be treated. So putting on your own oxygen mask first, et cetera, et cetera. But going beyond that, again, I'm not talking about the basics. I'm talking about the way we want to be treated by a lover or a friend. If we want a lover to buy us flowers or take us out or whatever, we got to do that shit for ourselves, and we don't need to be waiting around for somebody else to do it. And actually, the more that we do it, you know what it is to be around somebody who knows themselves, loves themselves. That shit is comfortable. Somebody who is confident in who they are and relaxed about it in a way that they don't feel like they have to project what they want other people to be like onto them, because it's like, I'm good. Whatever this person is willing or not to give me, I'm good. I'm not in any kind of desperation. It's a very comfortable person to be around. So this is the kind of person that Spirit is encouraging you to be, by whatever needs I may find unfulfilled or something that I want. This week I'm going to give myself permission to give it to myself. And I feel like it's fucking available emotionally and financially. Some of you are also really close to completing a project, or maybe you have just completed it, because I'm hearing both things, where you get to be really proud. See the little snails on the coins back here? That slow and steady, you built something beautiful up for yourself. And for some of you, it represents like a sense of self. So for some of you, it's like financial, tangible rewards like that. For others of you, it's the tangible reward of being able to like have a boundary with somebody and not feel shaken to pieces, because it's like, no, I know exactly why and where I'm coming from, and I'm good with this. So whatever response they have, I'm standing strong in how I feel, who I am. Okay? Okay. Hey, hey. All right. Now Friday, got a little bit of static. Little bit of static. 8 of Swords. On Friday, specifically, and we're looking at the wave of the week, but on Friday, you might be tempted to forget about all the good stuff that has just come in, right? And that's human nature. We acclimate. Spirit's like, it's a blessing and a curse how quickly humans acclimate. You know, for those of you who've gone from like couch potato to like trying to work out, and you stick with it, and you notice like, damn, from the first day to even just the next week, you can feel how you've gained strength and how you've like acclimated for before something that was really difficult or impossible has fairly quickly become very possible, and you continue to grow. This is that vibe. Spirit's like, so don't forget your gains, okay? Don't forget your gains on Friday. You might be a bit in your head. You might be tempted to think about all the things that are not working, or the ways that you're not ready to do X, Y, and Z. You might feel kind of dominated by insecurity. That's what the 8 of Swords is about, right? Holding ourselves back, but also the call is coming from inside the house with the 8 of Swords. Very specifically, it's like we have put on our own blindfold. We have stopped ourselves because going is scarier than staying. And looking again at all of these cards, and even the cards that follow, this is not a time to hold yourself back or hesitate or believe in your doubts. It's time to doubt your doubts. It's time to challenge your doubts and challenge your fears and find out what you're made of. And you have the support also available to help you do that. That's what you're meant to tap into this week. So if you come up against anything, you do not, oh, this is really important. You do not have to get rid of your fears. You do not have to stop having those thoughts. You don't need to hush those thoughts. You need to bring in another. You need to start a dialogue. Okay, so you have your Eight of Swords monologue, not good enough, not smart enough, it's already out there, people are already doing that, why would you, all the reasons why not, right? And you just want to bring in like your inner Mr. Rogers, your inner Bob Ross, where it's like, oh, that's not a mistake, that's a happy little cloud. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to proceed without fully knowing what you're doing. It's okay to have a little bit of stop and go. It's no problem. It's no problem. It's really diffusing these like little fucking thought bombs that will prevent you, that will create rubble and put more stuff in your way. So you don't have to get rid of those fears. You just want to bring in another voice that is so empathic and compassionate and understanding that it's kind of like the softness just kind of envelops and gives a big old hug so hard to that Eight of Swords, it just kind of lovingly smothers it over time. And this, your inner Bob Ross, your inner Mr. Rogers, becomes the more dominant voice over time with practice. So it's not get over your fears. It's sit down with them, give them some love and compassion and understanding, and, you know, let them know that they can sit in the back seat or the passenger seat, and you will be right here doing your thing, and then whatever y'all figure out or run into along the way, we will handle it. Okay. Love to see Ace of Cups following that. So yes, we might have a day with a little bit of static, a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety. But then Ace of Cups, God, this is just a week for connections and love and contact. So again, somebody is reaching out or you are reaching out. There may be, especially with the Ace of Cups, like I feel like a dam breaking down, like a big barrier breaking down. Some of you might have a good cry. Some of you might get some surprising forgiveness, like someone sending some type of message and maybe you're the one extending forgiveness to somebody because you've had kind of a breakthrough, breakdown, dam breaking situation. Saturday looks like a good day also to kind of have a, ooh, we'll be getting to very close to the eclipse by then, huh? Very close. Don't make me math. I cannot. But that seems like a day for a clean slate. That seems like a great day to let things flow in and flow out. I would say don't, to the extent that you can, try to make a really like clean slate of Saturday. Like, you know, if you got plans, do the plans. That's great. If you don't have plans, creating the plans to just kind of see what's flowing in, which is usually my recommendation when we're in eclipse season, because it's like stuff is showing up. Things are happening. And even like if you are not having events in the external happen, things are happening in here because we are all connected. If you know, think of the fucking universe. You've seen the comparisons of galaxies to the inside of a brain. You've seen neurons compared to, you know, fucking nebulas and shit, right? We're all part of a giant molecule. You could just say it like that. We're, you know, our own protons. So this person's a proton, that one's an electron, that one's a neutron, etc. And especially in times like these, the more we strive to be, to allow the charge that wants to be here, not trying to change ourselves, not trying to go from neutron to proton, from blah, blah, blah. Don't change, be. And look at what is showing up and ask yourself what it's showing you. Hey, hey. Make room. That's what I hear about Saturday. Make room. Because maybe, again, maybe you're going to have a big cry, maybe you're going to have a big conversation. But it's a heart opener. And it would be a shame to miss out on that, because this looks, it changes the landscape. And beautifully, landing on next week Sunday, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So all the growth, all the expansion, as long as make sure that you are not holding yourself back. Let's just make a comparison here. I love to see two eights like this of deferring elements, because it's like an antidote. This is being in your head. This is getting to work. Oh, I can't work on my idea because I don't have a perfect idea yet. This is false, and this will hold this person in like a holding pattern forever, versus this person who's like, oh, if I don't know how to do it, as I sit down and write it or build it or try this new skill that I've never done before but I want to, I'll learn as I iterate. I'll learn as I go. So hearkening back to the South Node and Virgo eclipse that just happened, letting go of perfectionism, because it really is just like procrastination in a better outfit. Okay? So there's a lot of progress to be made. There's a lot of growth to be had, both financially and skill-wise, in this week. Don't do your work in your head. Stay in your heart. And if your heart is out of balance or not feeling too equanimous, get into your body. Pentacles. Pentacles are looking great as well. Go for a walk. Take the bath. Have a nice stretch on the ground. This is a really fucking beautiful week. If any of you have like statements you need to make, ooh, we're still in the weekly forecast. We're right about to get into the elemental forecast. Yeah, so you might need to be thinking about that ahead of time, because that's Friday. So what I see here also between the Lovers, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups. Know who you are and act like you are sure about it, even when you're not, because that's how we learn. Okay, I'm not talking about like fake it till you make it. I'm saying, again, I don't know how to do this perfectly, but I know I want to do this. There's McGren, bring in your inner Bob Ross and your inner Fred Rogers. You don't need to be perfect. I'm so excited that you're doing this. Look at that. You've never done that before. I'm so proud. Like, bring in some loving, supportive voices, whether you can find them in the external or not. 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 6 of Cups. It's time to bring them in. Ace of Cups. Okay. All right. Let's get into the elemental forecast. Now that we have kind of an idea of what the external world, what the week itself is bringing to us, we're going to look at each of the signs. Whew. So, I believe fire went last time. Exactly. This little gash I made in my self-esteem, that's a happy little tree now. I'm just growing something there. It's perfect. So let's start with the fire signs. Let's start with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And just a reminder, you might have your sun in, Cancer, but if you have a moon or a rising in a fire sign, or multiple personal planets, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, etc., in a fire sign, then this is going to have some applicable information. So we're going to pull a theme for the week for you, a focus, and then we're going to look at money, jobs, resources, your mental space, your heart, emotional and relationship life, and then your fire, your creativity, how your energy is looking, how Spirit wants you to spend it. Always for your highest good, Spirit. The fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Spirit is saying a lot of changes around work for the fire signs because of that eclipse in the earth sign in Virgo. Beautiful. Okay. Money and jobs, resources, skills, projects, jobs, Spirit. When it comes to money, okay. And the mind, the mental realm, what kind of words, thoughts, messages, okay. And emotions, Spirit, emotions, connections, relationships for the fire signs, Spirit. What do they have in common? What's showing up in the realm of emotions? Beautiful. And finally, their own element, Spirit. What do the fire signs need to know when it comes to their energy, their spirit? How to direct it? What serves their highest good? Well, don't hold back. Once again, don't hold back. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. We're going to talk about them individually. So, this is you at your best, fire signs. The sun is the most fiery. Of course, this is associated with Leo because Leo is ruled by the sun, but we're talking about the fire signs, and all of y'all are a big, beautiful ball of fire that can either bring enlightenment or destruction, depending on your mood, right? But this is a beautiful card for being who you are, for knowing what you want and going after it. And this is an important ingredient: shamelessly. In the classic version of this card, we see a naked baby on the back of the horse. And there are no reins, there's no muzzle, there's nothing on the horse. The two are working in perfect tandem, joyfully together. So it's mind, body, and soul all working together. The vehicle of my body is taking me where I want to go. My spirit feels overjoyed to be in this moment and to look at what's ahead. So if you are not feeling joyful about what's ahead, we got to make changes, because fire sign people are meant to be bright. Bright, shiny, joyful, and fire signs also, like, they blaze a trail. They lead the way. So, fire signs, are you feeling a little bit stopped up? A little bit emotionally or perhaps financially constipated? Are we holding it in rather than letting it out? It's not good. It's not good for us, right? The Four of Pentacles says you have more than you know. So if you feel a tightness, which is very reasonable and real and understandable, again, especially in these immediate times that we are living in, when inflation and everything is the way it is. So it's like, yeah, you may be literally holding on tightly to your money. Do that. Budget how you need to. And if you notice yourself tightening in the heart realm, or even the realm of, like, I'm very blessed, I'm very privileged, then it's time to very, like, consciously count your blessings, and to the extent that you can, to share them. Even if that's $1, even if that's a kind word, even if that's a 45-minute phone conversation. You know what I'm saying? To give of yourself. I know this can sound cliche, but to give of yourself can remind you how much that you have. And sometimes we can go from feeling less abundant before giving something. It's like, literally, we haven't made any more money. Nobody's given us a gift. But in being able to do something generous for someone else, especially for fire sign people, we feel so enlivened by that, right? So the sun says you have so many gifts to share, even just your personality. So even just sharing who you are, being who you are in public, the sun serves you very well and could be an act of generosity. Again, the theme of the week is don't hold back. Two of Swords. Ooh, this one or that one. I don't want to make the wrong decision, so I guess I should wait right here until I collect more data. The Two of Swords is like, there's never enough data for this. This is a big thing that you want to do, and we can understand why you would hold back, why you would question yourself. Bring in, I'm going to say from the weekly forecast again, it would be really beneficial for you to bring in the Bob Ross, the Fred Rogers, and talk to them about it. Spirit is bringing this up, so I'm going to share it with you. There's only one, I'm joking, okay, ahead of time before I say this. There's only one ethical use of AI, and it's the way that I used it to ask ChatGPT to reference the works and the philosophies of some of my favorite Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, Seneca, Diogenes, Marcus Aurelius, and to have them have a discussion about the value or lack thereof of posting on social media in the modern age, right? Like, it's a bullshit machine. Is it worth it to try to put any truth in the bullshit machine? So Spirit is saying, you want to have those kind of dialogues with your, the masters that you believe in. Again, your Bob Rosses, your Fred Rogers, whoever are your personal heroes, dead or alive, your James Baldwins, your George Carlins. Who would I think of as my counsel? And I'm being very, like, these are the kind of people that I tune in and like to talk to, because these people speak the truth. Who is it for you? Talk to those people. If you are holding yourself back from doing something, and there is somebody who exists who it's like, damn, Mr. Bowie, how did you find the strength to, in fucking 1960s Britain, the most boring, dry, saltless, cracker-ass place in the world, how did you find the courage to be yourself, to wear women's clothing, to be so totally alien in a world that was asking you relentlessly to put yourself in a box? How'd you do that? I really need to talk to you. Talk to your people. Talk to your people. Emotionally, cups wise, Three of Cups, joy, fun, have some damn fun. If you are feeling, again, emotionally or mentally or creatively constipated, it would serve you to get around your friends, your compatriots, other people who have the same mission as you, but they have a different perspective or a different skill set. Get with your friends, get on a fucking, a collective call, like a Zoom call or whatever, even if you are distant from each other. It's a good time for get-togethers and to share our feelings with each other, to do like maybe a big catch-up. Maybe you could even do something for the upcoming eclipse. Like, hey, other weirdo friends, do you guys want to do like a Zoom call or a little, a little something? Y'all want to just get together for dinner, Zoom dinner on the day of the eclipse. Be a nice time to share your feelings with some people and gain some new perspectives. The Three of Cups is like three-part harmony. We're each singing a different note, but when we put them together, it creates something so much more resonant and full and whole. And the same thing happens when we relate to people. We're given this opportunity to like broaden our perspective and open our heart and go, God, I've never thought of it that way, or I've never been through that before. Like, I've never had your experience, and now I'm aware that other people have that experience, and we get bigger. Our heart gets bigger, our soul gets bigger. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Finally, fire signs, when it comes to your own element, fight for what you believe in. Stand up. You have what it takes. When I say fight for what you believe in, I mean even like your passion project. Because again, if you're like mentally or emotionally a little stuck, a little constipated, it's the right time to go out and face the opposition or face the fear, okay? In the classic version of the Rider-Waite card, we see basically the same exact image, except it's a dude, right, holding the wand, and also he, instead of these fancy shoes, he's got a boot and a shoe. As if either he didn't have a complete pair of shoes or boots, right? And so it's like, well, there's a boot and there's a shoe, and this is what I have, and I will make it work. Or maybe he just had to leave the house to go do the battle so fast that it's like, whoop, here's a left boot and a right shoe, so that's what I'm going to do. And he is still on top. He still has what it takes to defeat, to have the higher ground against all of this opposition. So here's another reminder that you don't have to wait to be better, to get more, to learn more, to whatever. You don't need more. Be. Be what it is you want to be. An acorn doesn't snap into an oak tree the next day. So even if you're at the beginning of it, even if it's in its infancy, agreeing and being like, I'm a motherfucking acorn and I'm going to become an oak tree, you put yourself in the right position for that growth to begin to happen, okay? So if you want to be a David Bowie, if you want to be a Bob Ross, if you want to be a, I don't know, whoever, you can begin to be that. Be yourself. Be yourself. That's the most joyful, fun, attractive to the other people who want to be with and around and like you. Okay? Okay. Don't hold back. Share. And don't hold back. If you believe in it, fight for it. Yeah! Fuck yeah, Bill Hicks. Perfect. Yes, Bill Hicks is also in the council. I tell him not to bring out the goat, man, but everything else, bring it. Love Bill Hicks. Definitely one of my heroes. Okay. Now we talked about Bill Hicks and the goat man, so why don't we move to the earth signs? Capricorn, the goat, in among them. Seems like a natural transition. So earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's get into your theme of the week and what you're working with elementally. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn spirit. Those probably hit some of the hardest and closest by this eclipse. Beautiful card, okay? What about money? Skills, work, projects and jobs, spirit for the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. In the coming week, what does it serve them to be aware of? Their highest good, okay? And the mind, conversations, messages, thought trains is something that Spirit is saying. So watch out for the train of thought. Hey, some of my favorite people are Capricorn rising. Watch out for thought trains. That's what I'm hearing. And they're saying specifically, they're showing you railroad tracks. And they're like, railroad tracks are built on the earth because they're reliable. And sometimes, you know, for those of you earth signs who relate to this, maybe some of you deal with like anxiety or even depression, where it's like I can get on a thought train and just, and before I know it, I'm gone. And, you know, like this is why they counsel in meditation to kind of think of thoughts. It's like I could jump on that train, or I could just watch that train go and keep and go on by and do what I'm here to do. So I haven't even seen the cards yet for your thoughts. That's just what Spirit is saying, is watch out for thought trains and look at what kind of tracks you tend to get on. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it's not a problem. We just need to be conscious, right? Instead of unconscious. Like, oh yeah, I find myself back in this headspace. I'm going to literally look at it like being in a room in my mental house and be like, oh damn, I found myself in this room again. But this is like the darkest, mustiest room in the house, and I've got a lot of other places I could go. I'm gonna get up and walk out of this room and go consciously walk into these other rooms, okay? Okay. Emotionally, Spirit for the earth signs. How is their week looking? How is their emotional weather looking? Hey. Okay. And finally, Spirit, their fire. Their energy level, the quality of their fire. Is it bright? Is it low? Is it angry? Is it joyful? What? Okay. Okay. Ooh, earth signs. I see you also standing up. Whoa, love it. Awesome. I see you standing up for something that you want, and I see you getting a victory. So, gorgeous card right off the bat, standing strong. Strength, though, importantly, you know, earth sign people can be bullish, right, for the Taurus people. And we can like, I'll outlast anybody. I will put my head through a wall to get what it is that I want. I know what it is I'm doing. I'm going to do it. Strength is saying you don't need to put your head through a wall. You don't need to like fight with anybody the same way that that Seven of Wands was showing up. It's not like that. It is actually through your quiet internal power that you get things done this week. So standing by what you believe in. Whenever I see the strength card, I also think of like the way that self-compassion makes us so much stronger than the average person, because the average person is wasting a lot of time and bandwidth hating aspects of themselves that all of us have. There's nothing wrong with being insecure. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with being jealous. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with being needy. Sometimes, etc., etc., etc. And the more that we're actually able to embrace every aspect of ourselves, even when we don't like it, okay? We don't always want to deal with a lion. A lion doesn't speak English, right? We can't be like, hey, bro, could you not like tear me apart right now? None of us wants to deal with it. But when we form a relationship with it, and when we train it, when we walk in tandem, we're more powerful than these dumb other motherfuckers who have never engaged with their lion at all and keep their lion caged or beaten or have actually killed their passion and their real access to power because they're acquiescing to the fake shit. So, if you know who you are and you know what you want and you know where you stand, you don't need to yell and scream at anybody to get your way. You need to show them that you are unshakable, that you are rooted in your values, that you're not going to be swayed, that you have boundaries, and that if they're going to continue to cross those boundaries, you're going to make changes. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. A lot of times, a lot of signs share a similar vibe. And again, we're reading for the collective, so it makes sense. Right now is a time when, again, with inflation, with everything going so crazy in the economy worldwide, whether you're listening in the US, whether you're somewhere else, most of us are tightening our belt right now. Hey, hey, Fernando. Most of us are tightening our belt. Most of us are noticing where we are lacking. And we're being asked to remember how abundant we are, how privileged we are, how, you know, I'll take it there. Let's zoom out and look at history. We are still so much richer and smarter and well-resourced and connected and all of these things than humanity has ever been in history. So as fucked up as everything is right now, and it is, and no one's gonna fucking bullshit about that here, we are still in a better position than we've pretty much ever been before. And, you know, as Martin Luther King said, the arc of justice is long, but, or sorry, the arc of history, morality, I'm so sorry, I'm butchering this quote right now, but it bends toward justice, okay? Shit might take too long, but shit bends toward justice. So remember that and stay strong in who you are, and don't allow yourself to be swayed or to think that actually you are lacking more than ever or you're in a weaker position than ever. Shore up your inner strength. That's what this card is saying. And don't put your faith in external resources. So, like, don't be thinking that if less money is available or coming in, you are fucked now, or your worth is lowered, or whatever. Like, maybe some people get laid off. And earth sign people can definitely associate, like, how wealthy, how productive, how employed they are with how worthwhile they are, how much of a right they have to exist on the planet. Take this challenge of this time as an opportunity to fucking deprogram yourself from that shit. Meritocracy is a lie, okay? Okay. I knew I was going to come in hot today. This world is so fucking nuts. I just need so many of us to deprogram ourselves so bad. Okay, speaking of, when it comes to your headspace, love it. Breakthroughs, new ways of thinking, new clarity. What I'm hearing for some of you is somebody might say something that really shocks you, but shows you exactly who they are. And as the brilliant Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. That does not apply to every single earth sign. I'm just hearing that that's it for some of you, where it's like, you felt really comfortable to say that in my presence. You have a very wrong idea of who I am or where I'm aligned or whatever. And again, it's an opportunity to be like, well, this is where I stand, and these are my values, and this is who I am. So if you need to draw a line, if you need to state a boundary, and especially I feel for some of you, you may need to defend a boundary where it's like, I have already stated this boundary. I've already had the conversation, and now I have to keep putting the sword up and saying, hey, I said we're not going to talk about that, or hey, I said that I'm not available between these times, or hey, whatever. Okay? Ace of Swords says, be clear. You know what's happening with you inside of you. State that shit clearly. And if other people want to, argue, defend, blah, keep laying out your truth. Strength. Stand strong in who you are. Now, things get considerably very bright after this, especially associated with that strength card. Look at your emotional realm and look at your energy. 2 6s. These are cards of flow. I love to see cards of flow after card of physical, financial, emotional constipation. Being stuck, stopped up and bottled up, and finally flowing. There are certain people in your life that help you relax, that help your walls come down. That's really how Spirit is specifically saying it. Please get around those people. There may be loved ones, siblings, family members, best friends. That's the kind of energy. I'm not really feeling as much of like romantic energy. I feel platonic, loving, like just as unconditional of a love. But let them envelop you, because they will also help remind you that you are not stuck. This person is standing on their pentacles. I can't move from this position or this job, or I can't make this financial change because, ooh, I'm stuck right here. There's a little bit more room available to you than you currently know about. So get around people that help remind you and help open up your mind, because somebody might see something that you've completely just ignored, because this sounds so weird, but that's how Spirit is putting it, is like, you take this skill set for granted. And you might be able to talk to somebody who's like, well, have you ever thought about doing this? Have you ever thought about trying that? And you're like, that's a brilliant fucking idea. Why haven't I tried it like that? So I feel that there's like a literal remedy for that 4 of Pentacles via getting with somebody who really sees you and knows you and allows you to, again, lower your walls, lower your drawbridge, and kind of see what shows up. And following that, we have victory. We have visibility. That's the word that Spirit very specifically wants me to use. So some of you have a craving to be seen, and specifically to show off your talents, the wands, your fire, your creativity. Spirit is showing me someone fire dancing. They're showing me somebody at an open mic. This doesn't have to be, oh God, again, like one of the curses of living in this time is everything that comes through, trends, news items, whatever, it's like it gets chewed, 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 and then spit out. Like they suck all the flavor out of it and then they spit out the person or the event. And it's like, then we never talk about that again. And that is, it is, it is draining the meaning and the soul out of like media. I feel like this is why movies and social media and etc. are like more and more dry, less and less fun, is because everybody's just looking for the next thing and then they will consume it, consume it, consume it, and then spit it out. Okay, I chewed all the flavor out of this bubble gum, now I spit that person out. What makes you special is what makes you joyful. It is one thing to say, I dream of being an actor. I want to act. Acting is fun for me. It's another thing to say, I need to be a movie star. I need to be on Broadway. If you love to act or sing or read poetry or write fan fiction or whatever, let people appreciate you and enjoy doing the thing. Don't attach like a fucking accomplishment to it. Because that, again, drains its authenticity, its meaning. It drains the soul out of it. So put your soul in what you do, in what you show. And I feel like it'll bring victory. And it will bring acclaim and attention and affection with that Six of Cups. So showing more of yourself, which also goes with what was coming up in the weekly forecast. Because spirit don't lie. Okay. Thank you, Earth signs. I hope that that is helpful. Why don't we now talk to the water signs? Let's talk to Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces people. In the coming week, Spirit, we want to know the kind of dominant energy, the overarching theme, what it serves Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces to be aware of for their highest good. Apropos. Ooh, did y'all get that last week? Okay, we're going to talk about it. And when it comes to money, Spirit, jobs, skills, resources, projects, love it, okay? For Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, what about their headspace, the mental realm? What kind of thoughts, words, the quality of their headspace? Beautiful. Wow. Okay. How about emotionally? Their own realm, Spirit. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It's so funny. Whenever we're doing these readings, I'm like having so much fun that I literally move to the edge of my seat over the course of the reading. It's like I could just sit back. I could just be comfy, but oh my God. Emotionally. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What do they need to know, Spirit? What is showing up for them? What is in their heart space? What is happening? Okay. Okay. And finally, their fire, their energy, their creativity, their passion, Spirit. What is the quality? Beautiful. Holy gosh. There's a lot of movement, like literal and figurative, possible this week, water signs. So get ready. Beautiful. Temperance. Ease, equilibrium, moderation, not too much, not too little. Okay? No all-nighters, no extremes. Temperance. Love to see her with these cups, endlessly pouring them back and forth because that keeps them fresh. It's the same two cups, it's the same water, but she keeps it eternally fresh by keeping it moving. And literally, your cards are about keeping things moving, flow, activity, growth. Really, really beautiful. So be easy on yourself with temperance. When I say it's like no all-nighters, it's also, don't look out for binging of any kind, okay? Binging food, binging substances, binging TV shows. Like I'm talking about any kind of overload. And if you already know that there's a place where you feel kind of like waterlogged, like that's kind of what Spirit is saying, like I'm saturated, like I'm media saturated. I need I need to like read a couple books this week and not watch, so much TV or not scroll my phone or whatever it is. Like if there's a place where you already feel that there's an imbalance, do whatever you need to do to gently address that imbalance. Again, moderation. So not I'm deleting all social media. I'm never going to be on it again when you've been like addicted to it. That just sets you up to then, like binge. It sets up a cycle. That's just what Spirit is saying. So forgive me if that word is a little bit triggering for anybody out there. I don't intend it to be, but I'm going to share whatever Spirit says because that's what I'm here to do. So it's like if you know that maybe you have a little bit of like a binge cycle, look out for that and be gentle and kind and compassionate to yourself in addressing and putting things in place that maybe make it easier for you to be a little kinder to yourself or a little more just conscious. Because for those people who have ever had any kind of like, again, this could be binging social media and TV shows. This doesn't have to be about substances or food or drink or any of that. For any of us who do, though, have a habit like that, it is usually attached to going unconscious. If we were being super duper present and mindful of every shot and the way that our stomach feels as we continue to eat past the point of satiety or whatever, we would probably make a different choice because we'd be fully engaged. So this is asking you to just stay compassionately aware with yourself. Maybe it's just great advice in general for all of us to keep Bob Ross and Fred Rogers in our pocket to remind us that even when we are messing up or not being exactly who we want to be, that that's just an opportunity to learn. That's just an opportunity to go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize, like having that tough conversation with that coworker or my boss or my partner, that totally tripped me into binging, let's just say this TV show that is my comfort show, and I lost the whole weekend because I was trying to like dissociate from what was really happening. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. I'm going to trust that you know what I'm talking about, and we'll leave it there. Now, again, growth, movement, flow, beautiful cards. Three of Pentacles. So when it comes to your money, your skills, your job, projects you want to do, this is growth. This is good milestones. This is you're already on your way. And if there's a way, if there's like, if you would like to get there faster, or if you would like it to be a more elaborate structure and you want other opinions, it will serve you and the growth of what it is that you're doing to enlist expert opinions. So maybe you could use a coach, maybe you could use a therapist or whatever, like just whoever it is that could help you grow this thing, grow yourself, grow your money. It helps to bring in other people who have a different perspective than you. Yes, yes, very much that. That's big temperance energy, exactly. And then we have your headspace, flow, Six of Swords, moving on, moving forward is the point of this card. The Five of Swords comes before the Six of Swords, so the card of like pettiness and challenges and being kind of stuck in a conflict. And this is taking everything that we needed to learn from the conflict and moving on. Also taking the people, our community that we love with us. So Six of Swords can sometimes imply a little bit of like a sigh that comes with leaving this thing behind. Like, damn, it would have been nice if everything could have worked out the way that I wanted, but I did learn a whole lot, and I feel like I'm moving toward better things because of what I've just been through. So, again, with this Temperance card, Spirit saying be very gentle with yourself, and the gentler you are with yourself, the more able you are to learn and grow. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Just how it is. No wonder, now I'm getting something. So Spirit keeps talking about, Bob Ross and Fred Rogers, but our inner child is up for it's up this week. We had the Six of Cups in the weekly forecast. Have all three or just two out of the three elements we've read so far gotten the Six of Cups? Our inner child, how free, how much we're allowed to have fun, how much we're allowed to make mistakes, how much we're allowed to be ourselves, translation, is up. So how good of an inner parent are you to your inner child? Again, when you get in a mood, or when you're, pitching a fit, or when you're doing a bad habit, how do you speak to yourself? these cards look really lovely, okay? So I feel like you have definitely the opportunity to speak to yourself in a really loving way that actually gives you the room to transform, okay? And I see you just having so much more fun. So much more fun moving forward, getting with people you like. There's also something really important this week about getting together in groups between these Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Who are your like-minded people that getting around them makes you feel like you're growing? Very specifically, it makes me feel free, like I can be myself, and like I'm growing. Some of you want to get involved in something creative, like a creative writers workshop, or be in a play, or join like a local like singing group or something like that. Get together and do what gives you joy. Be a really good parent to that inner child. If they want to take ballet, even though they're 40, let them do it. I'm on the verge, okay? Okay. And water signs, beautifully, when it comes to your fire, your passion, your energy, your opportunities, Eight of Wands says they're all out here. Things are flying. This is very much a throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So if you're excited about a lot of different things, your little inner child wants to try a bunch of different things, don't hesitate to look into the opportunity to do each and every single one of those things and see which one sticks. See which one is the most fun. Spirit is also saying between this Three of Pentacles and this Eight of Wands, for those of you who want to make more money or you want to build something, it's like this is the time to send out the resume, to send out the communication, to submit the proposal, etc., etc. Eight of Wands says the communications are wide open and things are like ready to move, like ready for takeoff type of energy. So you don't have to go hard. Eight of Wands is not Nine of Wands and it's not Seven of Wands. It happens easily and naturally and it's fun. And it's like just related to having fun and doing what I feel passionate about. So between all of these cards, the way is clear. The way to go forward, to do whatever it is you want, the room to grow, it is all present here. Be kind and gentle and compassionate with yourself and you will. Okay? I just see it. 3, 6, 8. These are movement cards. No stagnants. No stagnants at all. And again, it's not about I have to go hard. It's actually by going easy and going softly that things go the best for you this week. Okay? Okay. That's a good thing for water signs. Water signs love gentle. Okay. And now let's finally move on to our sharp and savvy air signs. Let's see, what is the theme for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius people? Reminder, you might have your sun in an earth sign or a water sign, but if you've got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, rising, or moon, or several planets in one of those signs, this is going to be applicable to you, okay? It'll weave into your other forecasts. So Spirit, the theme, please. What are our air sign people going through? What does it serve them, wow, to be aware of? These cards are wanting to jump. Okay, very air sign energy, like, oh, a lot. Okay, what do my air sign people need to know? Their highest good, Spirit. What is the theme most characterizing their week? That it serves their highest good, their joy, ease, fulfillment, to bring awareness to. What do you want to bring their awareness to for their highest good? Okay. Well, Spirit spat out two, and good thing, because I needed both. All right, let's look at your money. I'll pick up and show you everything in just a second. Money, resources, projects, and jobs. For the air signs, what do they need to know? That makes a lot of sense. Now, how about their own element? The realm of the swords, thoughts, messages, communications. What is the quality of their headspace, Spirit? What do you want them to know for their highest good? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, when it comes to the mind. Wow. Okay. And what about the heart? Emotions, relationships, their inner world, Spirit, their inner world. Okay. Wow. That's nuts. I swear, I shuffle these cards exceptionally well. Y'all know. You have to sit there while I have my eyes closed talking to Spirit and shuffling these cards, and still, Some of the same cards just pop right up because it's collective. Okay. Finally, Spirit, their fire, their energy, their passion. What is the quality this week of their inner spirit? The seat of their soul. And what do you want them to know about it for their highest good? Okay. This is a week of choices for you, air signs. I'm glad that we have a really beautiful weekly forecast. So the background of everything happening looks lovely. However, it feels like this week some things are becoming really apparent, unignorably apparent. These two jumped out together. The funny thing about that is if I had pulled this one, I would have been like, okay, I need like an antidote, I need a clarifier, we're going to need a little bit more. But this came right along with it. So Spirit is saying the alarm is going off. The alarm is blaring, and do you want to stay up in the tower while this alarm is blaring, or do you want to hear the alarm, open your eyes, and be conscious and make decisions based on the alarm bells that you're hearing? It might be a bit of a shock, but I feel like for a lot of you, it kind of isn't. I feel like you've spent a lot of time thinking about this, analyzing this, trying to figure this out, trying to make this work. And this week, something that you really just can't kind of shut your eyes and go back to sleep happens. That's what I feel. So where in your life might you already feel like, ugh, this is on a bit of shaky ground? You know, this job or this relationship is feeling a little bit tenuous or whatever. This is your yellow light to go. Maybe what you need to do is have some conversations ahead of time. Maybe somebody is waiting to like explode, right? And it's like, okay, if I schedule the conversation with my partner or my family member or my manager or whatever, I might be able to get ahead of this thing and see if I can make it into more of a judgment moment than a tower moment. Okay? That's the beautiful thing about getting a forecast is like, okay, what can I do about this? How can I use this to my best advantage? The tower is never going to be something that is standing really well and it's built on honesty and etc. That stuff is built to last. That's Ten of Pentacles stuff. So this isn't to alarm you. If you're, for example, your romantic relationship is on great standing, everything's going well, there's been no problems, we're both honest with each other, then your relationship is not going to shake apart this week, right? But if you've been like at your job and hearing little whisperings about like, oh, there's been layoffs or oh, they're doing this, that, and the other thing, don't ignore that. Don't ignore the of like the, you know, you ever have a dream and your alarm sound makes its way into your dream? Don't ignore it. Don't try to stay asleep through whatever this is. If it's bothering you, if it's like, oh, I don't think this is really, then look at it and then take whatever potential action you can have ahead of time. Because it may even just be like you having enough time to look at the blueprint of the building and make an exit strategy. Okay? That's still better than being in the tower as it crumbles. So, what might be unsustainable? And may you have the opportunity to get ahead of its unsustainability and either exit or make a repair or make an adjustment. Whatever it is, don't close your eyes. Don't ignore it, okay? It's time to make a decision. Seven of Pentacles, when it comes to finances, resources, skills, I'm feeling like literally two things where it's like, I've been putting time and effort and energy into this, and this is what it has yielded. It's given me this much money, or it's given me this much attention, or whatever it is that you're trying to get. This many opportunities. Whereas this one over here has really produced a whole lot. Now, maybe I really like this thing. And so even if it's not yielding the same as this one, I want to keep putting my time and effort into it. Or maybe I do come to the decision that if doing this habit or investing, you know, like, and take this as a metaphor, okay, but I feel like this is literal for some people. If investing in this stock has only paid off this much and investing in this one has paid off this much, do I want to take what I'm putting into this and move it over here? Or do I want to stay kind of spread out? Like I want to have a couple of different things going because if one drops out, I want the other to be healthy. That's what I feel. And these are general readings. So the nature of it is you need to check in with your intuition and be like, am I spreading myself too thin, or am I appropriately hedging my bets? Are you distributing your energy, your time, your skills, your resources in a way that's paying off enough for you, or do you need to make adjustments? It seems like there are some adjustments needed, especially with that Tower and that Judgment card, followed by mental space. Holy shit. I mean, air sign things. We do tend to think too much, right? Ten of Swords, I'm going to connect that to your theme of the week, the Tower and Judgment. Something that you can't ignore and something that can no longer be denied. It's like I really did everything that I could. For some of you, I feel, and this is not for all of you, okay? So here's my rule of thumb for tarot readings. If something that someone says brings up more questions than answers, know that that's not for you. Whether that's for some other air sign that's listening to this reading right now or whatever, but you don't need to hold on to it and worry about it. If it doesn't resonate with you, then you don't need to worry about it. For some of you, I feel that you end a relationship and association. I don't even feel like, oh, this is like your romantic relationship, your marriage, or some crazy shit like that. Although, of course, who knows? For some of you, that could be true. But I feel more like this person who I've been friends with for a really long time has made their opinion or stance on something really clear in a way that does not allow me to continue the same way that we were before. That's just what I'm hearing for some of you. And for those of you who are going through that, my sympathies, my empathy, because that fucking sucks. Where, and I'm just going to give you the example that Spirit is giving me. Again, we are living in a time where people are really showing their ass. Like they are really showing this is where I stand on that thing. And so I feel like for some of you, it's like you see your friend standing in a place that you could never stand. And it's like, that's the last straw. Damn. Like, and it does feel like the last straw. So it's not like everything's great, 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 and then this happens. Again, it's like the Tower where it's like, this was something that was shaky to begin with, or built on not solid ground to begin with. So for those of you who have to disconnect from someone, I am sorry. For others of you, it's just like you can let go of something that you've been trying to make work for a really long time and it hasn't worked. It's okay. It's always darkest before the dawn. Most important thing about the Ten of Swords is the sun is rising in the background. So yes, you know, she's feeling dead, but she's not dead. She's still scrolling her damn phone. So these swords are symbolic. This is like the voices in my head are viciously attacking me. And I've been through it too much. I've overthought this. I've overthought it to death. And now it's ready to let it go. We're ready to let it go. And let the sun come up, okay? Let it go. Let the sun come up. When people show you who they are, believe them. Those vibes. Now, beautifully, once again, we have the Six of Cups. Our inner selves, our inner children, our innocence, our ability to be playful, and our ability to be ourselves without having to like shape ourselves or put ourselves in a position that the rest of the world recognizes as like adult or grown up or powerful or whatever. Fuck all of that. Look at the way these people in power are acting. Do we really aspire? No, I don't. Like, so there's a little bit of have fun, be playful. Think about how you speak to your inner child. Do you let them have like a magical, fun, joyful life, or are you trying to put them in a box and make them somebody that other people would approve of? Because that, my friend, will get you here. That will get you here. Hopefully, eventually, it will get you here. Spirit is reminding me, I feel like they did this last week. Is this happening for the same signs? Ugh, okay. I record a lot of videos, man. It's hard. They're reminding me of a movie. So if any of you haven't seen this movie, I recommend that you see it. And if you have seen this movie and this resonates with you, recognize that you're being really tapped on the shoulder. Spirit is reminding me of this movie called I Saw the TV Glow. And again, for those of you who haven't seen it, make time to watch it because there's a message in there for you. I don't want to spoil it, so I just want you to kind of go in and be able to take it as it comes to you. And for those of you who have seen it, you understand what the metaphor is saying. And I will just say, be your true self, because there's nothing more satisfying or worthwhile. And I'm talking about money. I'm talking about being loved by people who don't really know or see you because they're seeing the part of you or the version of you that you feel like you need to present. in order to be loved. So there'll always be a part of you inside that's like, but I know that they don't really love me because they love this about me, not this. I really need y'all to see this movie. I feel like I need to like have a whole discussion group about this movie. There's a lot there. Okay. Be yourself and be kind to yourself and be true to who the fuck you really are and let the inner you out to play. Okay? Like, don't put them away because you're trying to be strong or be masculine or be boring. Okay. Another child card, interestingly, the Five of Wands, is about, you know, kind of acting in a young way, kind of acting in an immature way, kind of just figuring things out as you go along, playing with ideas. I think playing with ideas is just fine as long as you are not like avoiding making a decision and just like, oh, I'll just keep fucking around. I mean, you will. Here's the thing. If you keep fucking around, you will find out. But do you want to find out like this or do you want to find out like this? I feel like this is the choice this week, is to recognize what you already know, what is the tower, or to let the tower fall and let that be the way that your eyes get opened. And there's no problem with either way of doing it. I just feel like if you already have a sense of what is shaky, you're going to have a better time when the shakiness happens. You're not going to be taken by surprise the same way everybody else is. You're going to know, again, that you need to take the stairs, not the elevators. And so when other people are running to the elevators freaking out, you're going to know how to go down the stairs. This is the air signs, Lexi. And we are actually at the very end of of all of the forecasts, so you'll be able to rewind and see anybody else's also. So when people show you who they are, believe them. When you know who you are, believe yourself and act like yourself, and don't bury or lose or cut off a part of yourself because you want other people to approve of you or you think that it looks nicer. Just don't. Spirit is reminding me of the original version of Cinderella. If you've ever read original fairy tales, they're a lot more raw and often bloody than like what they've been trimmed and censored and edited into for like children of today. In the old school version of Cinderella, the stepsisters who were trying to fit the glass slipper that the prince is still trying to find Cinderella using the glass slipper, that part stayed the same. But in this version, the stepsisters, they chop off their heel. One chops off her heel, one chops off her toes in an effort to fit into this shoe. Don't cut off parts of yourself to fit in for other people or to make other people happy or even to reach a social status that you feel would be better than whatever it is that is you being who you really are. Okay. How's that sit on y'all? I hope that that is helpful. I know that as always, that is a lot of words and a lot of thoughts, but I really hope that processing them and integrating them helps you have a better week, a more empowered week, a more fucking joyful week. Please bring more beauty, more laughter, more compassion, more gentleness to yourself and to the world, because we all need it. We all need it so bad. And I'll be here again next week to ideally bring you some. As always, if there's ever anything that pops up for you that like, oh, this would be a really helpful part of the forecast, or, oh, I would really love it if you would talk a little bit more about what's happening astrologically, or whatever. If there's anything that pops into your mind that would make these more helpful for you, please comment. Let me know. That's the only reason that I'm here, is to be helpful. So if something would be helpful, let a gal know. Help me out. Thank you for being here, y'all. Really hope it's helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Till then, bye. Okay, how do I not show you my whole entire hand? I can do it. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Till next time.